Focus by Craig Petty and Murphy's Magic is a brand new deck disguised as a movie trivia game. This not only looks like something that you could pick up at a game shop, it also has an extremely detailed marking system that has so much information. Is this right for you? Stick around to find out. The other day I picked up one of these. This is a movie deck of cards. Half the deck has posters of movies. The other half has quotes from those famous movies. So these are the quotes, these are the posters. Now, I'm going to try something. As I go through the cards, I just want you to touch the back of any one you'd like. This one, remember it for me, okay? Remember what the movie is. Remember everything you see. Got it? Perfect. We're going to take that card, that movie, and leave it in the middle of the pack. Now, I'm going to try cut to a card that wasn't your card. This is going to be our helper card. Ghostbusters, that's a great movie. Watch the green Slimer on the Ghostbusters. We're going to use him. All I have to do is give the green Slimer a little bit of a rub, and I can take it off. Give it to the spectator and they hold on to it. Now that card no longer has the Slimer on it. And that card can now go on the table for a little bit. Then the spectator throws the Slimer into the middle of the deck. And when they do, the Slimer finds a single card. And I think that's your card, Mad Max. But we can't have a green Slimer on the back of the card because it sticks out like a sore thumb. So let's take the Slimer off and put it back on the Ghostbusters card. That's just one of the many routines you can do with Focus by Craig Petty. So today we're talking about Focus by Craig Petty. If you find this review of Focus helpful, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out so I can spread these reviews out and to help them reach more people. Now, what does your $40 get you with Focus? When you purchase Focus from your favorite Murphy's Magic dealer, you'll get this very nice Murphy's box. Inside the box, you'll get your Focus pack of cards. Absolutely everything from the tuck case to the poster cards to the quotes. They look super realistic. Half the deck is the poster cards, the other half is the movie quotes. You also get the tutorial, which has a lot of value in it. What is the quality of the deck of cards? This thing tells you so much, and I mean so much information. Just by looking at the back of the card, you can see the name of the movie's Moab word, the year the movie was released, who said the quote, the first line of the quote, the next movie in the stack, the next movie's Moab word, the box office of that movie, and the movie's director. It literally tells you so much information. And that's not even all you can do with this. It also has some other nice stuff, like it tells you the stack number, for example. It's absolutely insane. There's information also that's not even on the cards, like the box office and the movie director on the quote cards. So you can reveal the box office and tell them to Google it to confirm. The deck of cards itself, I wish they used USPCC printing. The printing's still nice, the cards still feel good, but mine have started to clump up just a little bit, but that's because I've been using them a little bit. But that's why I wish they could have used USPCC printed cards. The cards themselves have the nice markings and they're super visible, but only if you know what to look for. The spectators who don't know what to look for, they will not ever see it. Another thing is some of the cards, well, one in particular, it does have a swear word, well, debatably a swear word as the movie's Moab word. So that's something I wish they wouldn't have used because I don't know if it's tasteful in all environments, and I don't know if a spectator would want to think of that word as the Moab word for the book test built into this. This deck, though, allows for very, very direct mind reading, which is awesome. The card should last a while. There are no moving parts, long and short, rough and smooth. duplicates or anything like that. The cards will last you quite a while. It's not like one of those magnetic contraptions with a bunch of moving parts. No, it's a specially printed deck of cards, and it's super well designed by Phil Smith. How's the tutorial? You get so much value in your tutorial. You get so much value. It's very detailed. There are 40 routines in total. The first part is an intro, then an unboxing, and some slides are taught. The second part is the routines. You learn a film title and quote reveal. You'll learn an IMDb prediction. Any film watched by any amount of people, any film watched by any amount of people, part 2, open prediction phase 2, ringtone prediction, Ryland's prediction. The third part's even more routines. You learn celebrity date, magical moment, will the films match, ultimate matchup, continuous do as I do, eat more popcorn, across, baby film, invisible opener, celebrity date 2, movie matrix, wild screen, X-Force, Shuffleboard Cinema, Slimer Finds Your Film, Slimer Finds Your Film 2, Slimer Virus, Slimer Jam, Swindle, Imaginary Date, and Combining Effects. Then the fourth part, you'll learn Quinta Extreme, The Hangover Trick, Slimer Mystique, Detective Sandwich, Thanks to Max, Butlin's Prediction, Gemini Films, 4x4x3, and then the outro. There is a little bit of overlap in some of the routines, but a lot of them are completely different. There's variety. Some of the routines also had some variations taught in other Craig Petty projects. For example, there's a routine called Quinta Extreme that was also in Craig's poker chip project, Cheater Chips, which I also reviewed recently. Check that review out after this one. This is a little different from the one in Cheater Chips though, and there's a bunch of live performances in the tutorial. The tutorial is very detailed. It's jam-packed with tons of different routines, and I really like it. I know that some people may not like the length of the tutorial being so long, but I did feel that some of the routines were a little bit convoluted, but this isn't a big issue because there's still a lot of simple routines here. There's a ton of strong material here. So I recommend watching the whole tutorial. I had a great time watching the whole tutorial over the past few days. It's really, really great. So many strong routines in here. Is this a social media or real life effect? There's some really visual stuff taught in here that's perfect for social media. There's also a lot of mentalism that's perfect for real life performing. What are the angles like? This depends on the routine you're performing with this. For some of them, the angles are perfect. You can do it completely surrounded. That is great because as long as the spectators don't know what to look for, they won't see anything. Are there any live performances? Yes, there are many live performances in the tutorial. Is this examinable? Yes, the deck of cards is examinable at the beginning and end of the routines, depending on what routine you wanted to do. The cards themselves, as I mentioned, don't have any moving parts or anything that the spectators could find. There are some gaffed, specially printed cards like double backers and stuff. You can't hand those cards out, obviously, but the rest of the cards are examinable. And if you're worried about them finding the markings, don't. They don't know what to look for. They won't find anything. Now let's talk about the difficulty and practicality of this effect. You will want to put in a good half hour to learn the marking system and make sure you're familiar with everything. The effects, for the most part, are super easy to do. If you can read the marks, if you can do some false shuffles and stuff, you can do most of the routines on this project. This is very practical for many environments, including close-up, walk-around, and maybe even parlor. There's some really good prediction effects here as well, including some really updated takes on some classic effects. Is there any DIY required? No DIY is required. The deck of cards comes ready to go right out of the box. Pocket space. This is like a pack of cards. It's a bit thicker than a deck of cards, but it's around the same size. And there are so many routines you can do with this deck of cards. It's definitely well worth carrying in your pocket, because there's tons of tricks that require more pocket space and do less tricks, one-trick ponies. This isn't a one-trick pony. You can do a lot of stuff with this, so it's worth carrying in your pocket. What is the reset like? Well, a lot of the routines need the deck of cards in stack. So as long as you don't shuffle the deck of cards during those routines, the reset is pretty much instant. If you're doing a routine that uses the stack and you shuffle the cards, you do have to put them back in stack. If you're doing a routine that uses the stack and you don't shuffle the cards, the reset's instant. If you're doing a routine where you're not using the stack and you shuffle the cards, it doesn't matter, the reset's instant. There are lots of decks that Craig Petty has put out, like Mind Blocks, a deck of Lego cards. There's Cube 52, a deck of Rubik's Cube cards. Easy Tones with Rich Relish, which has a bunch of colors. There's Heroes and Villains, that's a new one. And that has superheroes and villains. Out of all of them, I think I like Heroes and Villains the most. This is a close second. All of the decks are great. You should look at them, make a decision which one you think fits your style the most. I'm reviewing Heroes and Villains soon as well, so keep your eye out for that. What is the price of Focus? Focus costs $40 US. Is it worth the price? I think so. You get so many routines and effects in the tutorial, and you can do a ton of stuff with this. You can do ordinary card routines with this deck, which takes it to a whole new level, and it's so much more relatable because everybody has a favorite movie. Not everyone has a favorite card. It's well priced for sure. What are the pros and cons? The pros are this is easy to use. There's so much info in the marking. Some info's not even on the cards. So the spectators, you don't even see the card, and you know what the box office of the movie they're thinking of that you aren't even seeing is. You know the name of the director, which isn't even on the card. You know so much information, and it is so fooling. It makes spectators think you really are able to know things that you shouldn't even be able to know. This will also last a long time. The angles are great for most of the routines. This looks like something you could pick up at a game shop or Walmart or something. It has an instant reset for most of the routines. Many routines are taught. There's not much pocket space required, and it's examinable because if they don't know what to look for, they won't see a thing. The cons are there are quite a few of these decks. You won't perform every single one, of course. And also, there are some of the routines in the tutorial that were just a little bit repetitive or a little bit, not convoluted, but a little bit complex. I preferred the simple routines in the tutorial. What percent am I giving this? This is really, really good. It won't be for everyone, but it'll be for a lot of people. I'm giving this a 97%. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.